Now, in this video, we're still looking at how do you tell if two lines are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. But in this, the examples are actually equations. So it's actually a little bit easier to find the slope, especially if y is already by itself. Well, let's take a look at that. We're on page 41. If you look on page 41, you'll see some examples of equations. So sometimes it's very easy to tell what the slope is. So we'll take a look. So on page 41, if you look at number 9, you have the line y equals 7x plus 2 and y equals 7x minus 1. Well, what's the slope of each line? Well, this slope is 7. This slope is also 7. So those two slopes are the same. So what does that mean? That means they are parallel. Now, when you take geometry, you'll see, I think the symbol for parallel, what does it look like? I think in geometry, I think the symbol for parallel looks like that, or may just look like that. So that's like shorthand for writing parallel. So you have to spell the whole word. I can't spell either. All right, now number 11, let's look at these two slopes. Those slopes are negative 1/3 and positive 1/3. Are they the same? No, they are not the same. Are they flip and switch, also known as negative reciprocals? Well, they are switched. Yes, they're switched, but they're not flipped. So the answer to that is also no. So if they're not the same and they're not flip and switch, they're not negative reciprocals, the answer there is they are neither. It's neither parallel nor perpendicular. They probably look something like that. There's neither one. Now, number 13, that's going to require a little bit of work because these equations, one of them is in slope-intercept form, but one of them is not. So we need to take this equation right here and get it in slope-intercept form. Now, how do you do that? Well, you move the 5x over, and that's going to make it a negative 5x. It's still a positive 4. Now, what's on this side? Bring down your negative y. How do you get rid of the negative in front of the y? Well, that's a negative 1, so you divide everything by negative 1. When you divide everything by negative 1, that becomes a positive y. That becomes a positive 5x. That becomes a negative 4. I don't care about the y-intercept. The only thing I care about is the slope, 5 and negative 1/5. Now, are they the same? No, they are not the same. Are they flip and switch? Are they flip and switch? Well, is negative 1/5 the flip and switch of 5? It's flipped and it's switched, so yes, it is the flip and switch. Those two lines are perpendicular. Now, if you don't like writing the word perpendicular, I don't either. Whoops, I can't even spell it, all right? There is a symbol for perpendicular. It looks like an upside down capital T. So that symbol right there, you can write that symbol instead of perpendicular, all right? Now, you notice on number 14, you're going to have to get y by itself on both of them. Let's see, some of you might be able to do this by looking at it. That's going to be y equals 3x minus 2. That one's going to be, and I'm going to move the 12x over and divide by negative 4. That's going to be 3x minus 1. All right, I did that in my head. Warning, don't try that at home. It's dangerous. Those two slopes are the same, so those two would be parallel. Remember, that's the symbol for parallel, and sometimes you see the little arrows on it. That means parallel. Now, if you look down here at number 16, wait a minute, what does that mean? Now, these are missing letters. So this is where Vux and Hoy comes in. My two good friends, Vux and Hoy. All right. This one, if you remember y equals 6, that's a horizontal line. It's missing an x. This one has an x but not a y, so that one goes with Vux. This one's a vertical line. What do you know about vertical and horizontal? They are perpendicular. All right, that's how you tell from an equation whether two lines are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. Sometimes you got to do a little bit of work. Sometimes you have to get y by itself, but y'all know how to do that from the first part of Unit 5.